Another common question that we receive frequently from parents is, why is it that my son is having such a difficult time breaking his addiction to pornography? And the best response that we can give is that for most parents, that we tend to underestimate the strength of the addiction and the difficulty involved with breaking free from the addiction. So when it comes to understanding why it's so difficult, it's important to understand what is occurring in the brain. The pornography addiction creates a neurochemical release of dopamine and other neurochemicals that are highly addictive. Dopamine is a chemical that the brain produces to reward life-sustaining activity, and the use of pornography tricks the brain into releasing this dopamine, which for most young people, the euphoria they experience from viewing pornography is more than likely the strongest euphoria or emotional high that they have experienced in their young lives to date. And that experience becomes addictive. Young people want more of that. Along the way, their impulse control and their willpower becomes reduced, so they become more vulnerable to giving in to the temptation to view pornography. For many of our young people, they don't want to continue, but because their impulse control has become weakened from the addiction, they continue to view despite not wanting to. So what we need to understand is that breaking free from the addiction sometimes can take time. Oftentimes not within the time range that we would hope. And so it's important that we're patient with the process, that we understand that essentially what needs to happen is the young person needs to begin to develop ways for dealing with negative emotion in their life in a healthy manner, rather than tapping into viewing pornography to temporarily escape the emotional discomfort to which they sometimes find themselves wanting to avoid dealing with. And that's where treatment comes in, is that we can help a young person begin to develop healthy coping skills to deal with the unwanted emotion, and also along the way help them to understand that really what is going on is that they are mismanaging emotions with the use of pornography, and help them to deal with the shame that sometimes accompanies the addiction, because sometimes our young people feel that somehow that maybe they're a sexual pervert, or that somehow there is something incredibly flawed about them, which in most cases is just simply not true.